What is up, peoples? I'm the Motorcycle Mick, and today we are doing a motorcycle variety show. There was no video this Tuesday. I had some personal stuff going on in my life, and I might get into that sometime, but
no video this Tuesday.
what
I had some personal stuff going on in my life, and I might get into that sometime.
is that noise?
Nothing.
Okay.
Pay no mind to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just had some stuff going on. You know, I've got some stuff that's happening in my life, some possibly big changes coming, so just get everything squared away. But I am joined once again by the Norseman. And we are going to be talking. Actually, no. There's no topic specific tonight, everyone. We're going back to the Micks style, where I am just gonna let it go where it goes, because that's what made it fun, man. Back when I started doing these live streams, it wasn't like there was a certain topic. It was just a live stream with friends, and I feel like when I got into the topics, it limits you to everything, and then you can say you're getting off topic. But if there is no topic, you can't get off topic. So that's what makes it fun.
Yes, plausible deniability.
That is true. Plausible deniability. Videos will be going back up next Tuesday as regular scheduled. I just took 1 week off. So if you don't like it, well, it's not your channel. Sorry. I love all you guys. I love Anger at Gals and everything like that. I love all you peoples. But sometimes you just got to take a step back and realize that you just got to de-stress in life. Don't take stuff too seriously.
Sometimes you got to take some time for yourself.
That being said, we're going to talk about, first off, why I haven't been on my bike. And you guys haven't seen me on my bike. I honestly can tell you right now that I just really have been taking a step back. After I got married, I kind of just took a step back and started looking at stuff, and I love riding my bike, and I will continue riding my bike. But Michigan is one of those places where you just got to be careful with people around you, and I've seen way more accidents lately and a lot of idiot drivers and dumb drivers. It's like when COVID hit, everyone just forgot how to drive. And so once they get back on the road, you got to get them on their training wheels and teach them how to drive. And
it's like the first snowfall.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. It's like you've lived here your whole freaking life in Michigan, and people still first snowfall, everyone's going 10 miles an hour. Like it's a blizzard. Like I don't get that.
I agree. That's just like one of those things where it's like, for the love of God, like you said, you've been living here all your life. You know this is coming. You've dealt with it before. Run with it. It's not rocket science or rocket surgery, as a famous musician once said.
Sorry, I am texting Johnny right now. He will not be on tonight. Just, But, just checking on your people. But yeah, so I haven't been on my bike because it's been super I've felt out of it. I haven't felt like the motorcycle Mick. And I do apologize for a couple of the videos I've made recently because didn't show it either. I fell into that same place where it's like you get burned out when you make content. I mean, like letting you guys really see into what I experience, like there's a lot that goes into a 10 or 15-minute video because that could be an hour of content smashed in, and you're sitting at the computer for hours editing to make sure it's the best product. So that's what's happening. And I know that the video coming up this Tuesday, which I will be filming, will be with the bike. And I'm going to let you on a sneak peek. What's up, Outback? What's up? Wait, get the frick out of here. I'm trying to stay monetized on this, okay? So there's only so many F-bombs, but yeah. You could just say it on the screen like you're live. Like, I see you. You. Yeah. Yes, you. You with the camera.
Me?
Yeah, you with the camera.
What did I do?
Howard? I got a what's up.
Yeah, but that was nothing to do with monetization.
Yeah, but you can only drop the F-bomb so many times. And some people get butthurt. Okay, so I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, all right? And I'm gonna call this person out by name, and I don't care if I get kicked from the We Ride Michigan page. I put up that video talking about Project Clean Slate. All right, Project Clean Slate is a project where it's between two wheels working to get a motorcycle for a veteran that's transitioning over. And the person, Nick Hildebrittle, had the audacity to tell me that, oh, it's just a different way of GoFundMe. Like, it's We Ride Michigan, a motorcycle page, and we're trying to get a motorcycle for a veteran. And you're like, oh, no, that's a GoFundMe. No, it's a charity. It's a registered charity.
I have to just ask. So I'm on that same page, and I see all the time people putting out events, and we're raising money for so and so, or doing a memorial ride. I mean, at the end of the day, those are the same things. I don't see what Project Clean Slate is any different than any of those events.
And you're right. Real quick though, I'm gonna say what's up to Outback Outlaw. What's up?
What's up,
Dave Howard? What's up, man? Mr. McStash. I can't watch the language because I can't see the words coming out of my mouth. So, fuck. Anyways, and JC Cycles going on a ride a few, but I just want to stop by and say hello to everyone.
Well, thank you for stopping by. Hello,
it's me, the Motorcycle Mick. But yeah, so the person actually said that it was another way of GoFundMe, and it was actually for a charity. Hello. Oh, I'm gonna screw this up. Hello, Samantha McAuliffe. McAuliffe. Okay, if I butchered that, I do apologize. English is hard. I can't read well. I don't read good.
I don't speak English so good.
Dude, thanks for your vid last week. I'm sorry for your loss. I was compelled to donate. Wasn't much, but it was for more than nothing. You know what, man? Everything helps. All right. So, Dave, thank you for that donation for Project Clean Slate. Every little bit helps. All right. It's not a game out there to be like, oh, we're just raising money to raise money. This is for a veteran. This is for family. Oh, I think Samantha might have left. I butchered names, and I do apologize. Serious? I don't know. I you know what? If I butchered that, I do apologize once again. I'm not a horrible person.
You didn't butcher it. Sammy's a good friend of mine.
Oh, well, hello. I did well then.
Is she gone?
I don't know. She said hi though. I mean, that's more than enough to say hi. Plus, But yeah, so I'm gonna see real quick. Tom.
Oh, I know. She's back.
I know Tom is in Sturgis. I know Tom is in Sturgis right now, so if we can get him in here from Sturgis, you're good. I think that's a base. Is that what that's what I was explained to as life from work. Well, I mean, it's a great reason to get in trouble. If anyone asks, like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, just watching a live stream. Just like, look at these two guys. Look at them. I mean,
what's not to like? I mean,
yeah.
Seriously. Right, Sam?
I kind of want to punch Mr. GoFundMe right where his face lives. But no, you know what? I know it's... I can't... I've already used one. I don't know how many. I think, is it 3? I don't know if it's 3. 3 of them. Someone look at the algorithm. I don't know how many F-bombs I can drop, but yeah.
Try to keep it down to a minimum, right?
Yeah, try to keep it down to a minimum. But yeah, so Motorcycle Variety Hour. I just want to get that out of the way, though. Go donate to Project Clean Slate. If this is your first time watching, if you've been watching for a long time, check out my content if you like it. I do have Motorcycle Mix shirts. I was going to wear it, and I don't know why I didn't. It's over there hanging in the closet all nice and clean. But I like my Harley racing shirt because I love racing my Harley. That's one of the things I want to talk about right now, too, is I think that every person should drag race their motorcycle. Every person. If you have a motorcycle, it should go to the drag strip.
I would not take my Road King on a drag strip.
Why?
One, mainly the embarrassment factor. It's an
Sorry.
80 it's an 80 cubic inch. I mean, come on.
I drop fart bombs all the time. YouTube never strikes me. I will trade you shirt for shirt.
Right now?
Yeah, I mean,
Hello.
you ain't never seen a nice set of knockers.
You're not gonna do one of these like that comedian Bert that just does it topless, right?
Oh, I love him. But yeah, so before, yeah, so why? Just because your bike's an 80, I think you should take it to the drag strip. I think everyone should take their bike to the drag strip because it's experience thing. Oh no, I'm 10 minutes in and I think my work phone just went off. This is ridiculous. Really? Oh, I don't think they're gonna.
So this is what sucks being on call is the fact that you got to answer the goddamn phone.
I know. It's just
always at the most inopportune time.
You're gonna take that home for a second.
Right on. All right. So Saddle Tramp, stock bikes aren't meant for the drag strip. Been there, done that, and I couldn't agree more. I mean, if I put my Road King out there, it would just be an embarrassment. It's not made for turning heads, other than real slow like. So this is why I wouldn't take my bike to the drag strip. I would ride it to the drag strip, park it in the parking lot where it belongs, and pretty much move on. Go watch the show. But yeah, it's not something I could do. I've done bike drags, but not on a Harley. Does that matter? No. I mean, for the most part, if you get yourself a sport bike and you want to take it out there, I mean, those things are built for speed any which way. So, you can at least work on power shifting and just running it down the strip, just seeing where you time out. But for the most part, like, I don't know, bone stock Harley, I would not do that. So Dave says, I'm rocking a twin cam 103, not going to drag it. Why, Dave? I mean, 103 is a good motor. It's solid. It's solid to put out there and at least turn a few heads. Yeah, Saddle Tramp says, good way to tear it up. Slung my compensator nut doing that. Yeah, I don't know what Mick's bike is just set up for, speed and power, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he's ever done anything where he's like ran it that hard to where he blew stuff up or destroyed anything. But hey, wouldn't be bad to put it out there just to see what you can actually do off of it.
Yeah. Okay. So for the moment, we're fine.
Do you agree?
What do you mean? That it's actually a good learning experience? I do.
Even listening, no. I could have said anything. It'd have been like,
Okay, so I want to go with Saddle Tramp, right? It says stock bikes are meant for the drag strip. Been there, done that. I am not saying take your bike to the drag strip to race it. I'm saying it is a great place to learn about your motorcycle in a controlled environment. A lot of people want to go fast on their motorcycle. And I'm not saying go to the drag strip and try to win. All right. There's plenty of people that blow way much more money to beat you. Like, even with the best skill, a person that's got less displacement can lose to someone that's, got more and more power and everything in the world they spend the money on. But I'm not saying that we go to the drag strip to actually try and race your bike. I'm saying that when your bike goes fast, all right, would you rather learn how it works and how it's going to operate up to those high speeds on the highway where you're going to definitely get pulled over? Or would you do it on a drag strip where you could actually control it? And that's what I'm saying, where you learn about the shifting, like at high speeds, where you learn about revving your bike, controlling your bike's motions. And that's why I like that concept. It's I I refuse to take my bike to the drag strip. It doesn't have pumps and makeup. So obviously it's not a Harley. I just had to go with that savage comment on myself. I don't care. How fast you go is how much you spend. Not necessarily, because you could spend, $1,500 on a sport bike and go 150 miles an hour. But yeah, Patrick, drag strip officials told me I need a full race suit and a kill teacher or tether, or I can't run. Well, tell them they need to learn to run faster then. Okay? That's not your fault. It's not your fault that they're fat and can't keep up.
Clearly, they've seen him race before.
I have no doubt that his bike is fast.
Just kidding, Patrick.
No, but it's a good learning experience. It's a great way to learn in a controlled environment. I learned a lot about my bike, the shift points when it goes under power, and I didn't have to worry about getting pulled over or getting harassed by police, which they might not do. They might, depending on what you're riding on. If you're on a sport bike, you're definitely getting pulled over. You're more of a challenge.
I'm going to tell you this. I mean, if you're running at the drag strip, I mean, the biggest thing that I see is the fact that you're not doing it in traffic. You're not doing it with other variables in the road. It's just you, your bike, and the track.
That helps your bike stick. That's a big key feature. If you ride in the tracks and not the oil patches from all the dumbass cars driving down it, you're going to have a lot of control. Your bike's going to stick. You don't have to worry about stuff. Like the one time I posted the video of it, me at the drag strip when I biffed it, was because I went through the water on Dunlop crap tires. Actually, it's going to help you learn a lot about your tires too. I mean, the quality of a tire and the grip and stick of it is really given off by once you see how your bike sticks at the track. And don't feel like you have to try and keep up with anybody. It's just a great place to learn in a controlled environment. And I absolutely support that. I'm not saying going out there and running your 80-inch and trying to beat a 114 or a 117 or some retarded 151 or 150. I'm saying it's like it helps you for beginner riders or people that may not, have a lot of experience on the current bike they have. I know in Michigan, right? Michigan's horrible for potholes on the highway and on city streets. If you're going 80, 90 miles an hour and you hit that pothole, one of two things is going to happen. You're going to have a big bump. You're going to mess up your wheels. And then you're going to be on the side of the road. Or you're going to hit that big bump and you're going to go flying.
You can go squirrely.
Yeah. I mean, be in the best conditions you can to learn your motorcycle. And I will say right now that learning my motorcycle the way I did really changed the way I rode and really changed the way I understood how my bike goes into power. And the Northman knows this because he's seen how my riding has changed from being, like I know how to ride my bike now. Like I can say that. Like my Heritage, I thought I knew how to ride and I didn't. And then once I really got into learning it.
Well, hold on. But also in all fairness, all of the modifications that we have done to your motorcycle has also changed the riding. It's you get comfortable with what you have. Like I'll give you a prime example, right? When I first bought my Road King, I could tell you that I personally was impressed with the way it rode. I liked it. It was comfortable. It was great. And then I rode it for a couple years as is, and then I decided I'm going to tear it down. I'm going to do the lowered bags, the different front fender, put a fairing on it instead of a windshield and everything else. And then when I got all said and done with it and I put it back out on the road, I had to relearn it.
Oh, definitely. My Heritage got faster with that new front fender. I wasn't wind sailing it anymore.
And that's what I'm saying is it changes the whole characteristics. When I put the fairing on, it definitely changed. Like there was just a feeling that I had where I now have a wind sail, that is catching a lot more air and, displacing a lot more air and catching a lot more of the crosswinds and everything else. So, and then the lowered bags, it just changed the aerodynamics of the bike.
But it also
So-
lowers fatigue too. You
Oh
know?
no, hands down. But I'm just talking about straight motorcycle itself, and like how even at like surface road speeds, that you're feeling differences in the bike and the way it handles. And it's no different than like when you get a new set of tires. You change out the tires, you go to a different brand, they ride differently.
Oh, they
So
definitely
there's-
do.
Yeah, so there's a learning curve that you need to pick up on and get comfortable with, because I can tell you, going from like when I had my bobber, I had some Avon Venoms on there, and I had only like an inch of sidewall. So, looking at my contact patch and how I turn, you can see that I didn't use the full width of the tire when I go into a lean. Knowing that, like, you can tell a lot by like just the wear on your tire. Are you using the full radius? Are you using the full is your contact patch fully used when you're using on turns? And with the Road King, it's like I realized the same thing. I wasn't utilizing it, but then it was also a much wider bike. And that took something to get used to. Now I can make like tighter turns, realizing that I still have more tread available to me. That's just my thoughts. See, even Dave is agreeing. It's like with changing out, putting the hard bags on my bike this week, it definitely handles differently. You feel that. I mean, a lot of the modifications that people make on their bike, they think that it's just for aesthetics, but it does. It changes the dynamics of the bike, and it requires a little bit of a learning curve. So, my personal thought is, anytime you make any type of modifications that are either bags, fairing, different windshield, even handlebars. When I went from the buckhorns on this thing to the 16-inch apes, it was definitely much different riding experience, and it took a little bit of getting used to. And I don't know how much of it was actually more mental, but I can tell you, it definitely was something not. It was a little bit outside of my comfort zone that you have to kind of weasel your way into. And that's more so like where I think Mick's saying, take your bike to the drag strip and push the envelope. Kind of like in a controlled environment, it's a lot easier to kind of like see, doing 90 miles an hour on your motorcycle, how true it runs. I think he's still handling work stuff. So Dave says, had it out on 8 Mile in the lodge today. That's probably the greatest place to, have your bike out. That 8 Mile looks literally like Beirut. So Tex Rider says, anything you add makes a difference in handling. Might be minor or major depending on what you do. And I agree with that 100%. The big thing is understanding like what those changes, how it changes the riding of your bike. And definitely it takes a lot of getting used to. There's like I said, there's a bit of a learning curve for it, and you definitely gotta figure out what that is and get comfortable with it as quickly as possible. I made the mistake of like, instead of doing like little changes at a time, like stretching the bags and then leaving the windshield on, I went for the gusto and did everything all at once. And I can tell you that for me, it was peculiar for a bit. So Patrick says, seems like a lot of Harleys drag before they can lean far enough to use the whole radius of a sporty type tire. Yep, and I agree. Text Rider says, yep, changes center of balance, etc. It does. It's really weird going from like the Venoms to a stock Harley tire. Excuse me. It was I don't know, it was weird for a little bit. I could tell you that, and maybe it was also had a little bit to do with just the different styles of motorcycles going from rigid to something with suspension. But I can tell you that when I went from those Avons to the touring tire, it was weird. It was very, very like noticeable. It was peculiar, and a little bit of I don't know, a little freaky. Just because you're riding on a tire meant to do different things. It's like the Avon Venoms. I could on my bobber, I could handle those corners like so tight, and I don't know, I could throw that bike around. Where on this Road King, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. Dave says, just changing from forwards to floorboards really messed me up for a bit. It was crazy how much muscle memory there was in reaching for my pegs. Yeah. Even like little things of like, I took my floorboards and rode with them in a stock position for the first couple of years. But then when I did all the modifications on my bike, I ended up pushing them forward. I'm a tall guy. So at 6'6", I wanted my feet out there. And I can tell you, just moving those a couple inches forward really kind of like made a bigger difference. So Tex Rider says the Dunlop touring tire lasts longer, but doesn't have the grip that others do. Yeah, I don't know. When you get into tires and stuff like that, I don't know. Like I'm a fan of like kind of keeping it the same. And I know that most definitely, even when you switch over to the same brand, same size, pretty much same everything, there's still a little bit of you feel a little bit of a difference, but it's a lot easier to kind of like get back into it once you change them. Like I said, I don't know how much of it is mental or how much of it is actual, like physically something else is happening. But I can tell you, switching from brands to brands, definitely is a learning curve that you got to get used to. Dave Howard says, I'm 6'2", but 5'8" of that is leg. Mostly highway pegs are where I want my controls at. I agree. I find that like when I ride, my when I pull away from a light, or for a stop for that matter, my legs automatically go to my highway bars. And from there, I'll drag my left leg back to shift. And I don't know like why I do that, but I feel way more comfortable with my legs stretched out as opposed to tucked in. I don't know how many of you have that same scenario where if you're a little taller, they just automatically go right up to the highway bars. But for me, it's a much more comfortable riding position. And it's funny because like I can tell you on long trips, my legs will go from the highway bars, and I ended up putting stirrups off my highway bars to make it a lot more comfortable because I just had the highway pegs up there, and I don't know, I felt like I was like I kind of had to like I couldn't relax my legs on the highway bars. Once I put the stirrups on there, and basically was able to rest my heel, it was night and day difference, and it was so much more comfortable. But with the stirrups coming back as far as they do, I almost have like I can have my legs on the highway bars and the stirrups, or I can have them on the floorboards with my toes on the stirrups, or I can have them on the floorboard, or if I really need to kind of like compress my legs a little bit, I'll actually drop my passenger pegs and throw my legs up on that. But for long rides, I'll literally have them throughout. I'll rotate them back and forth just to get movement in my legs. Dave asks, did you fab up the stirrups or buy them? I actually fabbed them myself. I ended up getting a couple pieces of flat stock, put some radius in them, just to make them a little more like streamlined, and then wedged them between the highway bar or between the mounting bracket and the actual highway peg, and wedged them all together and tightened them down, and then drilled in a set screw. And then I used the Harley Davidson Willie G skulls to the shifter pegs. I just bought an extra set and just mounted them on there. It works out perfect. That way, I got a size 13 shoe, so to throw that much on there, I wanted to make sure that I had enough going into my heel, so it made it real comfortable to ride. Yeah, Dave, I'll send you a picture of how they look. They're not bad. I mean, they're painted in black and they kind of look like they go, but I know that there's a few out there. There's a few out there that actually have I think it's the switchback from Kuryakin, where they actually have, it's just a peg, but then they have like this little feature where the heel supports actually will like fold out. So I think
They go back and forth.
Yeah, if you don't want to fab them up, you can buy a set of those, and they work just as well.
What's he want to see?
He wants to see the. I fabbed up those stirrups for my highway bars so I could rest my heels. He wants to take a look at those.
Do you have any pictures of them anywhere?
I mean, I can. My bike's like right there.
That might be a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
Hey, send me a picture on Messenger.
All right. Give me 2 seconds. Is that an evacuation alarm? Oh, he's not even listening. Yeah, Dave. I'll actually take a couple pictures here once Mick gets back on, and we can throw them up for you. Unfortunately, screen share, I don't know if I can do that. He doesn't. Oh wait, yeah, I can. Oh, crap. All right, I'm gonna try that. But I gotta get pictures from that to my PC. All right, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna, once he gets back on, I'll snap a picture real quick, and then you can throw them up. No worries, Dave. If you want, I can actually because I got your info here, I can actually throw a tape measure up there so you can actually check them out. Or hell, you know what? If you're ever in the Waterford area, come on by, man. Get a hold of me either through Twitter or I'll send you my info, and you can stop by and actually take a look for yourself if that's all the same. And maybe we can go ride. Mick seems to be the one of the few people that I go riding with these days, and well, since he hasn't been on his bike, I can always use someone else to go put around with. So throwing that out there. If anybody wants to go, get a hold of me. We'll go. Yeah. So I'm down for a ride sometime. That's awesome. Yeah, me too, man. I mean, it's anybody in the Michigan area. If you ever want to come out, we can get the Mick together with anybody else and just have a little group ride and go see some stuff and go putt around. Go get lost, as I like to call it. Oh. So, anybody have any topics that they want to talk about? Since this is the variety show, we'll kind of get the side chat, throw something out there.
Science.
That's so awkward.
What?
You were there, now you're there. It's weird.
Yeah, well, some people have stuff they have to do.
Are you actually taking all of us to work with you?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
What's up, Dwayne?
make
So, what's going on with Mick? He seems a little preoccupied. He's actually on call. And as we all know, Murphy's Law states that when you are hosting a live stream, that's when you will get a call. They'll
Yep.
leave you alone for the rest of it.
science.
Dave says 2 Micks is twice as nice. No way. It's like 1 too many. Just kidding, Mick.
I'm just messing with your head now.
Wow, this is just straight up awkward. All right. So as I was saying, if anybody in the sidebar, side chat has anything that they want to talk about, throw out there, and we'll do it.
Throw it out there.
Tex Rider, I see a clockwork sign on Mick's wall. I have one and love it, but seems some people do not. Well, I can tell you this, that he does have a very cool Clockworks tin. But guess what? I got one too.
But I also have a Clockworks windshield and a Clockworks front fender.
You know what I got?
Nothing.
Not true. I got to put all that shit on for you. You're welcome.
Well, it's not like. I mean, you like doing it as much as I do.
Dude, I love working on shit. I mean, at the end of the day, for me, I bring your bike over. We'll bolt something on. We'll fab something up. I don't care. Let's just do it. I have all this equipment and all these tools here, and they don't like to be lonely.
Yeah, give me a second. See, I told you there's 2 of them.
So, Tex Rider says, what do you think of the windshields? He absolutely loves it. If you go back, he actually did an entire video on windshields, and you can hear it right from the horse's mouth. He'll tell you the same, that he really enjoys it. Especially with the I don't know what he called them. The windshield actually, the one that he got actually has like hips to it. So it's a little wider than the stock, but like the way the hips are set up, he says it deflects so much better. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but he would agree. The side chat, brethren. What's up, Anonymous?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we are taking this live stream to another level.
Yeah. It's cargo.
So Tex was asking, what do you think of the Clockworks windshield you got?
I absolutely love it. Especially for the Heritage. It really changed the way the bike rode. It's a lot lighter than it is.
And of course, you would have shitty service. Yeah. All right. So what he was saying is that he enjoys it. Patrick says, Norseman, I think you would like how my project bike is shaping up. Well, put it out there, man. What have you got done to it?
Glitch me back in.
Yeah, Mick, if you can hear,
Bitch.
yeah, your service sucks.
Oh no, my phone was still connected, trying to connect to the Wi-Fi.
Oh, because on my end, you look frozen.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I definitely hear you.
Well, that's all that matters. But
Yeah,
yes,
you clearly don't see what I see with the way it froze.
I'm guessing you probably rant, but yeah, I absolutely love the Clockworks windshield. I like the way it looks. I like the way the styling of it. It adds that old school look while still looks really mean, especially paired with that fender. And the protection of it is like far beyond what the Freedom Shields was, because those little hips they had at the bottom really make a massive difference.
Yeah, Tex was saying that I find my Ultra handles better and shoots the rain up over me better with a lower windshield.
Well, yeah, and that's so the common misconception that people have is that if you get a taller windshield, that it's gonna make it shoot over you better. But when you look at the way the force works and inertia and everything like that, it turns into like a shorter windshield's going to provide better pressure because that wind's going directly up at that point. When you have a taller windshield, even with a flare, it still has to travel up that whole windshield and then over the top of the little flare. So it's losing pressure. It's just like with a bullet. You know, a bigger bullet's slower through the air, but at 22 has less wind resistance.
I'm going to tell you this. I'm waiting for somebody to come up with a windshield that deflects the wind in such a fashion that I don't have to tie off my beard.
Well, I think what you're missing is you need the lower air deflectors is what you need, because most of the wind that's kicking a beard up, and I understand this because beard, I figured out is like when I put that Freedom Shields on there, like I said, with those little hips on there, the wind coming up from underneath was reduced greatly. I honestly felt a huge difference in the, I'll call the updraft of it, because it didn't have the air passing through the bottom and then basically hitting my knees and shooting up. You know, or especially that fender too. That fender is not catching all that air, so air can pass freely.
Yeah, I'm thinking like I'm gonna have to figure something out with some possible like skirting on my legs. Because I think on the forks, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of like turbulence that comes up. It goes around the fairing. On the windshield aspect of it, because I only have a 8-inch windshield with a flare, and that shoots up over my head perfectly. And it's literally just below my line of sight. So it's, you know, I was trying to go with the shortest windshield I possibly could because I hate looking through the windshield. I like looking over the top of it.
I honestly think that's where Indian killed it. I 100% believe that Indian killed it because they took a concept of like, you know, we have a windshield that works, and I know that Honda did it with a Goldwing, but that adjustable windshield makes such a huge difference in the way riding is, because like if you're going around the city, you can drop it low, or if you're on the highway, you can move it up higher, and it's just stuff like that. I know that a lot of people talk about the fit and finish of the Challenger, but honestly, it's the only bike I know of that I would actually trade my Heritage for. Like, I know that means a lot because I absolutely love my Heritage, but that Challenger is just far leaps and bounds in front of Harley, you know, and it's still got a smaller power plant that puts out more power than the Harleys do with the bigger displacement.
So Kels is asking, is your windshield the same height as the stock on the Heritage? Looking at the Clockworks for mine.
So no. So my windshield is the factory windshield from Harley Davidson is a 17-inch windshield. And the one I have on there right now is a 20-inch, which still is below my vision. It's like right at sight line, like right below my sight line, which I love about it. But if you're a shorter rider, you know, they do make shorter windshields I think they do actually make a factory size for it. And especially if you're going to get even the clear or smoked, both of them are fairly translucent. I mean, the clear one obviously is translucent, but the smoked one is fairly translucent. It's not like the blackout I had with the Freedom Shields. And while I did like that blackout look, I realized afterwards that it really didn't do justice to the bike because it drew a lot of attention to that. And plus it was heavy. Like Clockworks has the lightest windshields that work the best and really for a great price. I mean, the value of them. And if you're going to get a windshield for your bike, I am sold on Clockworks as a person that's had 3 different windshields on my Heritage. I've had the factory one, which, I guess in general is not bad, but it's not anything special. It provides you wind block and all, a little bit of clearance and a little bit of wind blocking. But once you get into aftermarket, for the prices you're going to pay, I mean, get the one that's going to be lighter on the forks. Because, that's something you have to think about, too, is especially with the Heritage, that pressure is going on your handlebars. That's going on your forks. And if it's just throwing up air over the top of you and not doing any blocking. But, like I said, Clockworks being the way they are, ahead of the game, and always have been, is they do have the little deflectors on the windshield on the bottom, too, which adds a massive difference to the ride. And compared to my Freedom Shields, which I rode with for how many years? Like 2?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's one of the first things I replaced. I absolutely would not trade my Clockworks windshield for anything else on that bike, especially once we put that blackout on the bottom. It made it just look like a resto mod. It looks like someone took an old Heritage Softail and just made it look like a mean motorcycle.
Yeah. So Text Rider says, I do get an updraft behind the Batwing from the Clockworks. And he also has the 8-inch on his Ultra and can see over it great, and it still shoots the rain up over me. I think all in all, like,
you're going to get the
make a
updraft.
Really good product.
Yeah, I mean, Clockworks is absolutely the maker's mark, the top of the line. And I'm not going to let anyone else try to convince me otherwise, especially since, the money I've spent on windshields. That Freedom Shields one, I had to wait to actually get. That was the first ever dark smoked windshield that Freedom Shields made for the Heritage. It's the first one they ever made. And, wow.
Let's
Speaking of motorcycles, there's a motorcycle going, what are you going to do? You're going to pass them in the turn lane, dipshit? So, remember
this is why I love when you go mobile.
Why? Because you just get all my connections to the idiots on the road.
The commentary.
Oh, it's a freaking moped.
Anonymous is telling me that I need to get myself a beard shield. They even have those? I mean, for the most part, I just wear a bandana or I just take it and I braid it up and
quadruple fucking cup.
What are you babbling about?
Said you get a quadruple XL cup, the ones that are used to protect your Johnson, and just put it spray paint it black and put it over your face. You'd look like Darth Nutsack.
Thanks, appreciate it.
I mean, anyone wearing it would look like Darth Nutsack. I mean, that's the whole point of the joke.
I was actually thinking they do have these plastic face masks, but I don't know, they all look goofy as fuck.
If you can do it, just put your beard with a hair tie. I mean, that's
what I do. The only drawback is seriously, it's actually a funny sight. When I get off the E-way, this is all banded down, but these, because they're shorter, are still out here. So I literally will turn to somebody and just go, because that's exactly what it looks like.
Hey, you always had to have an evil plan in play. All right, that's the way it works. That's the way it happens. You had to have an evil plan, and
the plan we do.
But no, I mean, going back to the updrafts he's feeling, it texts. I'm gonna have the Norseman read the chat for me, but if you can, are you talking updrafts from underneath by the forks, or are you just talking where it's kicking the air over the top of your head? Because that's a huge. Because if it's coming from the forks, you're gonna want to get fangs or something like that, or hard lowers. That dude is riding his moped on the sidewalk, and I guess he can because he's got a moped.
So Brandon is asking, so looking to buy a Heritage, should I do it?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Well, it depends. All right. So what kind of Heritage are you looking at, Brandon? I need a more specific guidelines to the type of Heritage you're looking at buying. You know, the Heritage has always been a nice bike, but I am a huge fan of the Milwaukee 8 Heritage. Like it is leaps and bounds in front of every other Heritage ever made. And honestly, I would put it above for like dual purpose. I know people say with a dual purpose motorcycle that it's like, you know, good at one thing or bad at the other. But
so he said with a 114.
Yes, just absolutely yes. You will absolutely love it, and it's such an awesome ride and comfortable. But also too, man, like I don't know what bike you're coming off of, or if it's going to be your first bike. That's a huge question.
Dwayne says no. Get a Street Glide.
Dwayne can just no. I love you, Dwayne, but no. Like, don't buy a Street Glide because everyone has a freaking Street Glide.
So Kels is agreeing with you. He says yes, buy the Heritage. I have a 2018 with the 114.
Thank you. Kels knows what's up.
Run, Mick, run! Don't ever let him take you alive.
Dude, everyone is just another freaking lockout.
Seriously, people locked out?
Doors are hard.
Yeah, apparently. So kind of going back to what Tex was talking about. So he says no from the forks, only at high speeds. I have hard lowers and the wings on the side of the Batwing. Not a problem for me.
So he said it's from the forks?
Yeah.
So they make these things called fangs. All right, and the fangs they attach to your forks and they deflect the air out. But I mean, with a big touring model like that, you're always going to get upflow because I mean those fenders do attract a lot of air. And that's one thing I did notice too is when I put that new front fender, the wraparound fender on my Heritage, that I did get a lot less upflow from that too. Because my bike was just letting the air pass by, like it's going around the motor. Like there's a bunch of actual benefits to actually putting a wrapped fender on your bike, like a wraparound fender. One of which was like the less updrafts, more as my bike stayed cooler because I don't have that big fender like blocking air from getting to my motor, which I don't know why you put a big fender on the front of a bike when it's, you know, air cooled. Put something that's going to be thinner and going to help out. I mean, I know they got the big wheels and everything, whatever on them, but
I don't know. I think also the big thing is that like aesthetics.
Aesthetics, you know it's
like having, yeah, but it's like having like a bagger with a cafe racer, you know, a cafe racer fender on it.
I think aesthetics and functionality go hand in hand. I you know, you can't change an aesthetic without having a functionality change. And everyone's like, well, you know, like not everything changes it. I'm like, well, yeah, it does, because it doesn't matter what you change on your bike. There's going to be a functionality change to it. Even if you're changing the headlight, if you're changing grips, your handlebars, everything that you change for aesthetics will have a functionality difference. Whether it's good or bad, that's, you know, to be determined. But
and we're back to his Harley phone. We're losing him. No, I'm gonna agree with Mick on that one. I mean, when you start changing stuff out, I don't know. A lot of times people will look at stuff more so for a fashion. You know, it looks a certain way, and this is what they want. This is the look that they're going for, but then are not necessarily pleased with the functionality change. So, you know, be cognizant of that when you start looking at stuff, because just because it looks cool doesn't mean it performs well.
No, and that's a big one that misconception people have is that, you know, it's going to ride, something's going to ride the same if I change it. And it's like everything you change on your bike, even down to the horn. All right. Because if you change your horn, it's going to beep different, and it might draw people's attention more. It might have people less. You never know. The reason here's a big one. The reason I don't want to change a horn on my bike is because it's unique. All right. Everyone makes fun of the meep meep horns from Harley, but here's the big difference: is someone might be just bored or just complacent to the sound of a horn beeping, like a car horn. But if they hear meep meep, like they're gonna look. Like it's just a completely different sound.
That's why you have the Schwinn bell on there.
Yeah, I love my Schwinn bell.
So Tex is saying that some of it, I think, the lowers force more air inward on the bike as well.
Well, are they Harley lowers or Hogwarts? That's a big difference. I'll be back in a second.
All right, take your time. We'll be here, waiting for you. So Tex says, I would love to have an air horn someday. Actually, that would be. I have thought about this numerous times, where I'm sitting there thinking like I should put like the largest train horn I could possibly fit on that thing. But then I was looking into like the air compressor and everything else, and that absolutely deterred me from doing anything. Plus, I can't remember the last time I used my horn. I would actually probably get rid of it and hook up one of those garage door remotes to it, to where I can just hit the button and it can hit the horn. The garage door opens and you just pull right in. By the way, if any of you have those, like where you have like the module that connects, I think, to your high beams or something, please chime in. I am curious as to how well those work. Because for me, I don't have a clicker for my garage that I carry on my bike. So I actually have to pull off and go open the garage manually with the door code and then pull in. So all right. So Tex says that he has Harley lowers, which you would think they would. I don't know, with the Harley lowers that they would. I don't know. They kind of like go hand in hand with with moving that air like
Harley
the way it should be.
They are so crap at moving air. And the reason being is like they have these tiny vents. Like I don't think I've ever understood why Harley hard lowers are so expensive and have like a car-sized vent for air.
I mean, I'm going to tell you this. Like, I have aftermarket lowers, and realistically, between that and the Harley ones, the shape is pretty much the same.
Yes, but also what about the air vents for them?
I mean, the air vents in my mind are just to like on a cold day, you just close them. It's no different than like not having lowers. Like when my bike didn't have hard lowers, I would have the snap-on ones.
Well,
and that was
those hard lowers have an inset to them. That's the big deal, is that they have an inset where the vent is, versus Harley's is kind of flush, which looks aesthetically pleasing, but
I don't know. I could tell you on mine, even with the vents open, like I get more airflow on my feet and all, but I can tell you that I don't really get like my motor. I don't feel is any cooler. I can still feel that heat radiating. If anything, I think it catches and pushes the air around it, which gets less to the motor. So Tex says, vents aside, they angle inward to cool the engine. Air vents are for your legs. And apparently I got something right. Right on. Every so often that blind squirrel finds that nut. Yeah, I think when I put my lowers on, I don't know, like I I feel like I was getting a lot more airflow when I didn't have anything there. And then when I put the lowers on there, I don't know. I feel like I get more radiated heat coming up, just behind my thighs. But I don't know. One of these days, I would actually like to take this thing and like get like some dry ice. You put a fan in front of you put a high velocity fan in front of it and just put the dry ice through it and watch the airflow. Just kind of curious to see as to like the actual dynamics of it. Dave says my lowers are just chapped. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this. It doesn't matter what you got. If you're riding on a cold day, trust me, chaps are well worth the expenditure.
Oh, yeah. Told it to be fast.
What about the other call?
One more.
So Mick, we were talking about assless chaps. How do you feel?
Happy about them, actually. Like to let my buns hang out and cool down as I'm going. What I see about assless chaps is normally they're crotchless in front too, so you get a nice breeze from front to back.
This is great. I can actually guide this conversation any which way I want.
Come back.
No, we were talking about airflow and lowers, and then Dave chimed in with his lowers are just chaps.
His lowers are just chaps.
Yeah, and Tex likes my idea with the dry ice.
Putting dry ice.
No. My idea is just to see like if you buy a block of dry ice from like your local ice cream place, if you create the fog and put a fan in front of your motorcycle, you can actually see the dynamics of how the air travels over your motorcycle.
Or you just get smoke grenades. Those work too. A lot less expensive, more accessible.
Yeah, but yeah, no.
Because
Zach says he likes to wear chaps and leather over his rain suit. I'm the opposite. Actually, if I'm wearing a rain suit, I'm not wearing I'm not wearing leather underneath it. That thing is a sweatsuit. I remember coming back from Ohio, we got caught in the rain, so we pulled over and changed into our rain gear and continued down the highway. And I swear to you, I felt like I was wearing one of those sauna suits. It was insanely horrible. And I found myself like actually enjoying the fact that I could zip it down and actually get some air moving through it. It was I don't know, those things did what the rain suit did what it needed to do. It kept me dry, but I don't know, it was insanely hot, and I don't like to be like smoked out like that. I mean, rather than my rain suit. No, that's okay. I see what you're saying. Tex was saying that I meant rather than my rain suit, wearing the leathers. I'll be honest with you. Unless it's like a torrential downpour, I won't switch into a rain suit. For me, it's like I don't know, like with my leathers, I run a conditioner through them to almost in a sense waterproof them, because I can tell you from experience that if you don't waterproof your leather, it does to have a tendency, depending on the type of leather, to get like hard on you and very uncomfortable to wear. But yeah, I don't know. Like I was looking at one point in time, talking about like moving air around the bike. So on my stock Road King, I actually had those fangs that Nick was talking about, and I don't know, like for me personally, like when I changed out my front end, got rid of the passing lamps, went over to like a Kiriakin 2-in-1, where it just bolts right on where those fangs go. I couldn't fit the fangs on there because of the way the design was. But like it may have made a difference, but like I said, I made too many changes all at once to actually evaluate any of that. It was just kind of like 0 to 100, and here we are.
Well, that sounds like a personal problem.
It was. I kind of went for the gusto and changed everything at once.
Once.
Yeah, like at once.
You know, my wife is Mexican. That could be offensive.
And I said once, not one.
Said once.
Once.
UANNP. Once.
Wow.
Hey. Also, if you guys that are watching right now on the live stream, since you made it this far, the person holding the phone right now is my beautiful wife. Say hi. Come on.
Hello. No.
Yes. I want people to see my wife.
Hello.
There we go. Made it.
Yeah, so Tex is saying that because we were talking about conditioning your leather and waterproofing it. He says he uses linseed oil.
Leather should be waterproof in general.
Leather is not waterproof in general.
Leather is at speeds waterproof. But
No, sir, it is not. Your leather, like anything else, needs to be conditioned.
Treated leather. That's the big question.
It's what?
Is it rawhide leather or treated leather? Because treated leather is waterproof.
Treated leather is not leather at all. Like when it says genuine leather, it is barely any qualification to be considered leather.
Well, my heritage seat is leather and it's waterproof.
Well, and I think that's because it was waterproofed because of what you were using it for. Kind of like when I make a seat, I'll literally oil the living shit out of it. And bye. Nice talking to you. When I make motorcycle seats out of like leather, and I'll do like hand tool like leather seats. When I get all said and done after the dye and everything else, I will actually like in a sense like oil the seat just so that it does waterproof it, but it also conditions it to keep it, like soft and not like you're sitting on a piece of cardboard. I can tell you this. Any of you that have been caught in like torrential downpours in your leather, usually like it takes forever and a day to get it to dry. And then when it does, it really kind of changes the whole characteristic of it, especially if you have like a softer, and I don't want to say like a smaller mill thickness on the leather, but like you got to make sure you waterproof your gear. Text Rider says 15 hours in the rain, nothing is waterproof. Haha. Without the linseed oil, my treated jacket would last 30 minutes, but it's the linseed oil will last hours. That linseed actually works out really, really well. It's really good for not just waterproofing it, but conditioning it as well. So it keeps it like, looking somewhat new. Which I don't know. I don't care like what it looks like because I actually like the vintage like weathered look, but it does condition it and it will outlast anything that they treat it with, coming out of the factory.
I'm still a super fan of just the spray water treatment. I use that stuff in the military. I used it when I was in Boy Scouts. But you need to let it cure all the way. But you can get a can of it for like $10. You can just spray stuff and it'll legitimately waterproof it. But anytime you add oil or water or anything like that, or waterproofing, all that kind of stuff, just remember your time in the saddle may not be as good because you're going to slide around a little bit more. Makes it super slick.
Yeah, but I can tell you that linseed, and I've used it before. It actually absorbs pretty well, and you wipe off the excess, and it really treats really well. Just saying. Tech says, for me, the spray can just doesn't work. I feel like Tex gets caught in the rain like a lot. You know, if you've had experience with, you know, trying out different alternatives for waterproofing, and you've got the experience of saying that the spray can doesn't work, I am thinking you do a lot of rain riding. Mick, can you hear us? Can you hear me? Nope. Bye. All right. So, oh, he's back. Look at that. Hey, Mick, can you hear me? Yeah, I'm catching the static when you talk. No better. I don't know if it's just me or oh wait. Okay. I'm sure he'll be back on shortly. So we've covered windshields, we've covered airflow, we've covered leather. Any other topics that you guys wanna chat about for a little bit? So Tex says, "Oh yeah, I like Eastern Canada, and they get lots of rain for hours. 10 hours or longer is command there. Holy crap, that's a lot of rain. Like, I don't know. Like, I probably couldn't like if there was like certain places that like had abundantly more rainfall. Like, I don't like riding in the rain. I've had a couple bad experiences with it, and I'm just not a fan of doing it. I'll never start off a ride in the rain. If I get caught, so be it, and I'll push through. But I can tell you, a couple weeks ago, I was coming back from our clubhouse, and I rode directly into a torrential downpour. And then by the time I got into Pontiac, which is probably about another like 10, 15 minutes to the house, I was sitting in the middle of a monsoon. I couldn't see like 10 feet in front of me. And then the lightning show started rearing its ugly head, and I'm just like sitting out there just getting looks from people like, why would you do that? And yeah, it was not a good time. I had pulled in, and you know, I've done rides in the rain and stuff like that where I was in Toronto where we did an actual like charity ride in the rain. We were doing no more than like 10 miles an hour. They had to redivert it like I think like 3 times so that our route didn't go over these bridges because the wind was so bad. But I could tell you, like, when I made it to our destination, my first order of business was I walked into the bathroom, I took my boots off, and I dumped about an inch of standing water in there, and it was just not pleasant. Dave was asking, was that a Sunday? I know that was actually a Friday night. It was a Friday night. I was coming home a couple weeks ago. Tex says, I will skip the rain if I can, but on a 2-week road trip, if you have to get to the next stop. Well, I mean, I think at that point if you're on the road, no matter what the elements are, you're gonna have to face them one way or another. Otherwise, you'll never get to where you got to go. And biggest thing is being prepared. Like, I don't know. Like, I thought that putting a little bit of Rain-X on my night goggles would actually help out. But keeping them from fogging up I've yet to find anything that would help there. If any of you know of like a good anti-fog, I have tried everything from the Suave shampoo trick to my kid plays hockey, so he plays with an iTech. So I use some of his anti-fog spray, and it just, I don't know, maybe it's just because they're so close to my face. I could not get them to not fog up. And half the time, you're riding, you take like a quick break, take them off, shake them off, put them back on your face. And I've even found myself like trying to like sit up higher into the seat and get my face more into the wind just to blow some of that rain off and try to like normalize the temperature so they don't fog up. But I haven't found anything that works religiously. So got to get those little windshield wipers that actually do that. Would be great. So Tech says we all learn as we go on these trips. Absolutely, man. I mean, that's kind of like what this is all about. It's not just it's not just about like enjoying the ride, but I think a lot of it is also just facing the elements. I can tell you, I've ridden in the start of a snowfall. That was probably my most uncomfortable. I'm not a fan of, like I said, I'm not a fan of riding in the rain, but riding in like snowfall, that's just that's a whole different animal. I just feel like I'm gonna just like do something wrong and just bite it because I don't have the experience in it. Sam says, "Man, imagine riding through those trails from up north." Yeah, riding like off road, especially like on a Harley. Oh my god, like I couldn't picture like taking my bike through half of like Michigan's back roads that are, as they say, off the beaten path. It's just crazy. I don't know. I was taking a vehicle through there and bottoming out. I can just imagine I'd probably rip off my rear fender. Dave says, shave, no good. Shaving cream. Got it. Shaving cream. Dave says shaving cream. Yeah. So yeah, like I don't know. I always tell people it's like don't be too fearful to ride through like inclement weather. You definitely need it for experience. Um, for me, I can remember the first time I rode through rain. I found myself like white knuckling and just being like very, very like super extra cautious when coming to like stops. Turns were another one that was just like kind of like freaked me out a little bit because it's like I don't know, you start you start breaking into a lean and you're just thinking it's like wet pavement, and wet always just equates with slippery. And I don't know, you gotta have faith in your tires, and you gotta really know their capabilities. So for me, like I said, it was a scary experience. And you just got to make sure like how it handles. And the more experience I got with riding in wet weather, I was able to, in a sense, push myself outside of my comfort zone just a little bit, but still keep it within that window of I'm still riding safe. So Tech says, I remember being 20 years old and riding home from work, dragging both feet in the snow. Yeah, that was me when I got caught in that just blizzard that came out of nowhere. I found myself doing the same thing, just keeping my feet down like it was. Realistically, I'm thinking it's like I'm on snow. If my feet are down, it's not going to matter. I'm going down. I'm going down. But he also says just slow down and take it easy when the weather is not what you expect. This is true. I've laid my bike down after rain, and I think that's like probably the worst time to, the initial rainfall brings up a lot of oil, brings up a lot of like debris, and that's when you really got to be real careful about like knowing how to like engine brake, how to ease into the clutch, because the one time I went down because of oil in the road, and it was right after a rainstorm. I got into a situation where I knew not to jam on the brakes. So I was engine braking a lot, and I caught a patch of oil and happened to downshift and made sure my RPMs were well down. But as soon as I let up off the clutch, that rear tire just grabbed, locked up a little bit, and just caused me to low side. And that's not a fun event. Kel says, slow down, then go slower. Wet weather is not my preference either, but sometimes you just get caught. And that's what it is. It is what it is. And either you pull over, wait it out, or, if you're in Texas position where it's going to rain for the next 10 hours, you just got to muster through it. And you get it for the experience. Patrick says, did a ton of riding in the snow on a dirt bike. Did a bit of riding in the street bike in snow and ice conditions. And then Kel says, got to be careful with wet brick roads too. Yeah, that's one of the things that, I don't know, Michigan when they started redoing their highways and a few of their surface roads, they use a technique of rain grooving the concrete to where instead of having just flat, they'll actually put like thin lines into it. And I know a couple other states that I've ridden through have those. I hate riding on those just because, I don't know, it changes the dynamic of the ride a little bit. But I found that if you don't grip onto the handlebars really tight, if you loosen your grip a little bit and kind of just go with the bike, it'll, it's fine, but it does feel kind of awkward at first. With the brick roads, man, there is probably nothing more slippery and slick than wet brick pavers. There's Berkeley actually has an intersection that is, they went nostalgic and ended up putting the bricks in. And I can tell you how many times on wet conditions going through there and having to make the turn that ass end just kind of slid out just a little bit more than I was comfortable for. So Tex or Sonic says black ice when it's above freezing during the day and below freezing during the evening, that's when black ice forms. I can tell you, black ice, if it's subarctic and it's below freezing, and if there's any even if it was sunny during the day, I will not go out at night. I have done Arctic runs where you're doing a minor endurance, 100-mile ride, but you're doing it in obviously cold temperatures, and here in Michigan, temperature drops pretty regularly in the winter. But if it was sunny during the day and there was any of the snow melting, I will not take my bike out at night just because I know I'm going to get caught up in that black ice. Tech says, no, it's not the best time to ride just as the rain starts, bringing up the oil. Great topics for riders on this live stream. Thank you. I'm trying to do my best because I'm usually the wingman, not the main attraction here. We kind of lost the main attraction. God only knows what he is doing work-wise. Kel says, ring grooves make it squirrely riding. It does. And I don't know if I'm the only one, but I know there's sections that I've seen and that I've ridden through that I feel like my front tire gets caught up in a groove per se, and it just kind of moves you over unexpectedly. And that's one of the ones that that's why I hate riding in that type of concrete, because it just unexpectedly you're going straight, and then all of a sudden you're just oh, I feel like I'm in a rut, and then you got to pull yourself back out. those are the ones that, like, I don't know, my asshole puckers even to this day. It just feels like the bike did something I didn't ask it to do. So that kind of freaks me out a little bit. Patrick says, rode across a graded steel bridge in the rain. It was shady as hell. Yeah. Riding across graded bridges, grading at all, even in dry conditions, makes it sketchy. But if it's wet too, yeah, no, it's just, that's like adding insult to injury. I'm just not a fan of that. You would think with like it's funny because there's a section of, like, and I know Mick has talked about this at great length. The Mackinac Bridge has a graded section and a concreted section, and I can tell you, for some strange odd reason, 99.9% of the time that anybody at any point in time over the year is going across that bridge, they are doing construction on the concreted side. So you're kind of forced to end up going on the graded side. And for those that have never had that type of experience to go over that, it really feels like your bike just wants to come out from underneath you. And it's one thing when you're on a surface road or on the expressway. It's another thing when you're like hundreds of feet up in the air and all you're seeing down below you is water. Kel says, at Patrick, that's the Schminkter factor of 100. Yeah, I absolutely agree. That's a crazy, crazy feeling to have. So, what else are we going to talk about? Since I'm over here just trying to figure it all out. If you guys want to see a great video of ice road riding on a bike, check out the Broken Tooth Project. Search on YouTube. Well, we're gonna have to check that out, see what that's all about. I know back in the day, like, so the motorcycle club that I am part of started out as ice racing and hill climbers, and I can tell you that's something I would never actually like look at and say that I would want to do, is actually ride a motorcycle on ice. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it just doesn't seem like it would be a good idea. I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm at that point in my life where I'm just older and wiser, but I don't know, even in my younger years I'm like, yeah, probably don't want to do that. So yeah, I think we're running at already at an hour and 20, and I know Mick wanted to keep this at an hour, and I don't know if I can shut the live stream off or not, but I think we're going to end it here because I am going to have dinner and then I gotta work tonight. So, if you like the content and you had a good time, give it a big thumbs up. And don't forget to hit the subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you can get yourself notified when Mick uploads his wonderful videos. And I'm not even going to make an attempt at his closing. Just like, I don't know, like I can't do it like he does, so I'm not gonna even attempt it. So I'd like to thank everybody in the side chat for showing up and, you know, putting the comments out there and giving us topics to talk about. And we will see you next Thursday, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, as he puts it. So, guys, thank you so much. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
I'm back, but not for long. Accidentally just almost sat on him.
He was on there.
Yeah.
Almost sat on me.
Yeah. Oh, there's 9 people still watching. Well, hello back, people. Sorry, my phone died. It's charging right now. Yeah, no. I think I just missed him. Did no show go? I don't know. The Norseman disappeared. Where did he go? Well, this is not the way I expected my live stream to go, but the Norseman actually seems like he handled it pretty well. See, I told him he was good on camera. Wow. All of this shenanigans that I missed. Just missed him by that much. Dude, I'm like hauling ass home.
Sorry, we were coming in at an hour and a half, so I figured that you were probably going to be a little while, and so I kind of ended it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but I didn't do it justice like you do with the.
You'd never do it.
I'm not stealing your catchphrase, man. I can't do it justice.
Hold on, let me get into Ashley's shirt. Oh, this is one of my. This is
That's
my
what I
other
forgot. That's what I forgot to do.
This is another one of my shirts, you guys. Front, back. Remember, all proceeds go to Project Clean Slate. Oh, look at it. Slow down, then go slower. Weather's not my preference either.
So that's the one thing. That's the one thing I forgot to do is to broadcast the Teespring.
Yeah, I do a
Spring
Teespring. Spring tea.
Spring tea.
Oh. Well, I still have 10 people watching, and like I feel like dude, thank you so much for like being the captain. Because my phone died, like it cut out, and then it's just like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with being on.
Yeah, no problem.
It's the last week I'm on call.
Thank God.
Yeah, I hate being on call.
I believe it. I want to say thanks to everybody for putting up with me in.
Oh no, dude!
In your absence.
I got. Big kitty. Oh yeah, big cat.
It's a big black cat.
He absolutely loves it.
Tex is asking to post my channel.
Well, yeah, dude. Post the channel. Kels, when did you change your name? Because I am 99.99% sure that it may not have been that before. But yeah, you're right, though. We're at an hour and 33 minutes, and I think you have food ready, don't you?
How do I post my channel?
So let me go.
As many of you have known, like I am still learning all this. So just bear with me. I'm still trying to figure out the difference between like YouTube mobile and like what I can do on my computer.
Okay, so go to your main channel.
Uh-huh.
And there's 3 little dots up in the right corner.
Hit share, copy link. Look at
there.
That.
You go. Post it in the side chat.
Holy shit! Look at this. I'm advertising. Look at that.
Not yet, though. It hasn't popped up on mine. Gotta be careful with wet brick roads too. Or you follow the yellow brick road and find the midgets.
The midgets in the LSD.
Yes. Because most people don't realize that movie's based on doing drugs. And it's a kids movie.
You know what's funny? You ever like watch remember like shows that you watched as a kid and you watch them again as an adult and you find all the stuff that has a completely different meaning from when you're 10 to when you're like 30.
Biggest one, SpongeBob.
Yeah.
SpongeBob had so many adult references in it that you did not realize as a kid.
Like I'm looking at I'm thinking like Looney Tunes, right? Saturday morning, 11 o'clock was the Looney Tune hour, and I'm looking at some of the stuff that they were doing, and I'm looking at by today's standard, I'm like, this is just nuts.
Yeah. But yes, Wet Brick Roads, Mick, can you post the Norseman's channel? Did you send it to me on something?
I just put it on the side chat.
Did you?
I did.
Yeah. That's a big one. Blacktop. When it starts raining, the oils come out of it and you will slip and slide. So be careful. And when you don't know what I mean by blacktop, it's literally if it looks black and it's on top of the road, blacktop. Pretty straightforward stuff. Just be careful. I mean, after the rain, like while it's raining, it's not so much because it's kind of washing the oil. You'll have a little slip. It's after the rain when the water sets in and it's forcing the oil out. That's where you gotta be super careful. Did you post it?
I did. It's if you look at the side chat, it's like
I only see the normal one.
What do you mean the normal one?
I only see the side chat. So the side chat's a little bit delayed on the live stream on the right hand side.
Yeah.
So rain grooves make it squirrely riding. Actually, you know what? I actually don't mind. I think that's a big one. It comes down to tires. Tires are the huge factor in riding in inclement weather. When you have ones that are touring or more grippy, the more grippy ones the Shinkos that I put on my bike, on my Heritage, I noticed that there was a huge difference even in rain that they gripped. Like, I don't know what it was, it just gripped. But once the Norseman posts his channel, I'm going to end the live stream because we've been going for an hour and a half.
I just posted it twice.
Send it to me. Send it to me through Messenger real quick. Yep. And next week we will be back to the normal. Share. Come on. Let's see. Command B. Maybe it's not going to let you do it, but I can. There it goes. That is the Norseman's channel. I know they don't let you click on it anymore in the side chat. They won't let you click the link. But also, if you go up to the very top of the live chat, oh, it doesn't even let you do it there. It might let you click on there and go to view channel. It might not pull it across. But, all right, you guys and gals and everyone, I am going to end the live stream there. I appreciate everyone for being here. I do apologize for my absence for parts of it because of work. I do want to be a great big thank you to the Norseman for covering me while I was gone and keeping the conversation going in the side chat. Next week, I want to get more people on here. So, like, invite your friends to the side chat and all that stuff. And I want to get people on the stream with us. So, we're going to get more people in the boxes. So, if you don't have a webcam, get a webcam. Order one off Amazon and be ready for the live. But for now, that's all I got. Remember, once again, I upload new videos every Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we do this live stream every Thursday at 6:30. But big thank you to everyone that is in the side chat. Kells, Patrick Hattrick, Dave Howard, Tex Ryder. I believe Dwayne Sapp's in there somewhere. There he is. Brandon Presley. Anonymous Biker USA. Samantha
McAuliffe.
Mr. McStash. Saddle Tramp. Everyone, Outback Outlaw, thank you everyone for being in the side chat. Thank you for showing up tonight, and thank you for sticking around, like I said, with my absence. But you know what? Next week we're back to normal. I will not have any other responsibilities on stream night, so
Well, as normal as we possibly can get.
yeah, I think I'm gonna stick to this. I think I'm gonna stick to this variety style next week. Let me know in the side chat, and if you guys like it, let me know in comments on this live stream if you guys do like the variety style, or we're just kind of going around, just scooting around. I liked it a lot better, even though I had to skedaddle for a bit. But you know what? I like it. I think we're gonna stick with it. And as always, I hope you have a great day, evening, night, morning, afternoon tea, brunch, lunch, nightcap, midnight snack, crumpet, McGriddle, bacon sandwich. And remember to always ride for freedom. Goodbye. I messed it up. My bad. All right. Goodbye.